first rugby union test match in the world since March will be played in Wellington when New Zealand face Australia in the first of 2 Bledisloe Cup matches. Here's what to be aware of as the trans-Tasman neighbours battle for a trophy they've played for since the 1930s. This is Sports File. The 2 tests in New Zealand are not just a battle for trans-Tasman bragging rights. Both the All Blacks and Wallabies are embarking on new, albeit delayed, eras, where the match is also the first in charge for new coaches Ian Foster and Dave Rennie. Foster spent 8 years as Steve Hansen's All Blacks assistant before he got the top job when Hansen stepped down after last year's World Cup. Although his elevation has not been met with widespread approval in Rugby Band New Zealand, and these 2 games against their trans-Tasman rivals are considered as something of a litmus test for the 55-year-old. New Zealand rugby fans may also be casting a nervous eye at Rennie, who has had nothing but virtual immediate success in every professional coaching job he has had. After being snubbed for years for a Super Rugby job, he succeeded Foster at the Chiefs in 2012 and propelled them to the title in the first season, before he repeated the following year, and then moved on to the Glasgow Warriors. For some pundits, Rennie was the man the All Blacks should have been targeting to succeed Hansen, but by the time they started talking to him, he had already signed with the Wallabies. The Wallabies have been locked away in quarantine in Christchurch since they arrived in New Zealand almost 2 weeks ago, but there were some concerns that would not even come at all because of New Zealand's tough biosecurity measures. Rugby Australia and Rennie both said they would not play if the teams could not train together from day one, and New Zealand's government quickly changed their rules to allow the team to train as a full squad after spending the first 3 days in total isolation. Both New Zealand Rugby and Rugby Australia will be hoping the matches take some of the attention off a bitter spat that has developed between the 2 bodies. RA Chairman Hamish McLennan said last month he felt the relationship was at an all-time low, with Australians annoyed at the way New Zealand Rugby presented them with a take-it-or-leave-it scenario on the future of Super Rugby. That feeling has spread to South Africa Rugby, who've said they now see their future in European club competitions, and to Southern Hemisphere Rugby's governing body, SANZAR. Both Foster and Rennie are looking to rebuild their squads for the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France. Rennie named 16 uncapped players in his 44-man squad, with several, like fly half Noah Lolizio and number 8 Harry Wilson, likely to get a run in New Zealand. Foster also named 7 players, which is likely to increase when he expands his squad for the Rugby Championship. The Wallabies, however, face an uphill battle. New Zealand have held the trophy since 2003, while Australia have not won a test against the All Blacks in New Zealand since 2001. To give them any chance of winning back the trophy, they also need to win both matches in New Zealand before their games in Australia. Next week's second game, however, is at Eden Park, where the All Blacks are unbeaten against all teams since 1994 and against the Wallabies since 1986. So it's going to be tough.